Elizabeth at A Literary Princess. If you are new here, welcome. I'm a 6-year PhD candidate in English literature with a focus on Victorian women novelists. And as you might expect, I love to read. Today I have a tag video for you. This is the BookTube Embarrassment Tag created by Andy from Really Random Reads. I was tagged by Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading a while ago, and YouTube decided it wouldn't inform me that I was tagged. So yeah, sorry for not acknowledging this earlier, Kelly. YouTube doesn't like telling me when I'm mentioned in stuff, so I only find out accidentally or if YouTube decides to pull it up only in the notifications on my phone. Whatever. Anyway, there are 11 questions. Let's jump in. Question number 1, a book that someone or something made you feel embarrassed about liking. So when I was in high school, I was made to feel embarrassed pretty frequently for liking Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. Usually it was grown-ass men embarrassing me over it, which, you know, there's a whole lot to unpack there with a grown-ass man ridiculing a 14-year-old girl for liking a paranormal vampire romance. And today I'm like, wow, no, that was, you know what's embarrassing is a grown-ass man making fun of a 14-year-old girl. Just saying. But yeah, no, I was embarrassed for a while because I liked Twilight, and there were some people who were like, Twilight sucks, etc. Which, like, it's not... Look, I like this series mostly for the nostalgia. It's fun. Like, I'm aware it's not that good. I'm aware I have a whole video on it. But I don't know. I just think for a grown man to be making fun of a literal child because she is enjoying a book, like, that's pretty cringe, and it's a lot cringier than a 14-year-old girl liking Twilight. Just saying. Question number 2, a book you're embarrassed about completely missing the point of. So I would say, I don't know if I'm embarrassed about it really, but I would say that I kind of missed the point of Villette by Charlotte Bronte. I read this when I was like 23, maybe. And I don't know, this is a much more difficult book than Jane Eyre, or than Wuthering Heights, or than any of Anne Bronte's too. And I think I just really wasn't ready for it. So I was just kind of like, what? And just sort of missed the point. I would like to go back to it soon and revisit it and hopefully like it more. But yeah, I don't know if I'm embarrassed, maybe a little, because, you know, this is my time period. I love Charlotte Bronte. I love the Brontes in general. I say I love Charlotte Bronte, but Jane Eyre is the only one of hers I actually liked. But I'm hoping that upon rereading, I will get Villette more and enjoy it. Question number 3, a book that you've been embarrassed about or would be embarrassed to be seen reading in public. Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. Look, okay, I had read 2 Sarah Waters books previously, Fingersmith and Affinity, and I loved both of them. I loved this one too, loved Tipping the Velvet. However, I was reading this and I brought it to work with me, and I was working at a Christian book company. And, you know, I'm sitting there on my lunch break, and suddenly we get to a very explicit scene. And none of the books I had read by Sarah Waters had a scene that explicit before. And I'm sitting there with my face turning bright red. Again, I'm like 23 when I'm reading this. And like, you know, it's just like an open cubicle, so people are milling about. I have people sitting right next to me. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. There's this really explicit sex scene going on. And I am just sitting here at work. Ah! Also, it turns out the title is a euphemism. So kind of embarrassed when I found that out too. So yeah, I am not gonna read this in public ever again. I don't think I brought it back with me to work. After that, I was like, nope, picking a different book to bring to work. Oh my God. Like, even though, I mean, you can't really tell from the cover that it's explicit or anything unless you know that particular euphemism, I guess. But I don't know, I was just so afraid that somebody was gonna come out, like peek over my shoulder and see, or like ask, oh, what are you reading? And be like, ah. So yeah, no, not gonna read that in public ever again. Do wanna reread it in the privacy of my own home. Question number 4, a book that you would be embarrassed or hesitate to buy in person. So I have read in the past some books about BDSM. The one that's coming up immediately is The Little Guide to Getting Tied Up by Evie Vane. And I would never buy that in a bookstore. I bought it on Kindle. So yeah, no, anything like that I would not buy in person. I would buy on my Kindle or order a copy online. Because yeah, no. No. Other than that, no, I'm like, whatever. Go up and buy my trashy paranormal romance and be like, yeah, I'm buying this. Deal with it. But yeah, no. BDSM books, those are online purchases. Question number 5, a book you have been embarrassed not to like. And this has to go to one that I read last year, Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. I know that people love this book. Like, really love it. And I just wasn't that impressed with it. It started good and then it just went downhill. I didn't like it that much. I thought the show was better. I really like the show. I didn't like Interview with a Vampire, and that is a little embarrassing because I know how much people adore it. And yeah, so I'm just kind of like, yeah, I didn't like it. I think the show is better. Sorry. Question number 6, a book cover that you find embarrassing. So I got rid of my copy of this because I hated the cover so much, but I am going to go through the trouble of finding an image of it to put up here for you. This is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Great book, great book. This cover, atrocious, absolutely atrocious. Hate it. Like, it looks like a romance, like a cheap romance book. And super funny, my mom and I earlier this year went to a used bookstore together for some shopping fun. And we were in the classics section, and you know, I'm looking at Dickens or whatever. My mom comes over and is like, look at this, this is in the classics section. This shouldn't be in the classics section. And it's that copy of Rebecca that I used to have. Not the same one that I had, obviously, but it's the same cover. I was like, oh no, Mom, that's a classic. She was like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's just a bad cover. I used to have it. I know, it's cringe. She was like, why would they do that? I'm like, Mom, I don't know. I don't know. But I can totally see why you had that immediate reaction that it doesn't belong in the classics section, because it does not look like it belongs here. I hate this cover so much. I don't think I brought this book out in public when I was reading it. This was an at-home book because I would not want to be seen reading a book with that cover. Honestly. I don't know, especially not, how old was I when I read this? I don't know. I'd had it since college. because I actually, oh my God, you know what? I remember a friend of mine coming over to my place in college to do some work together. It was like 3 of us. And this person was this guy who was super smart and I was like kind of into. And he's looking at my bookshelf, and I had like hid all of the books that I thought would be embarrassing. Like all my young adult books, I literally put in a closet before he came over, okay? Like, but I left Rebecca because it's a classic. And he's looking, he's like, what is that? I'm like, it's Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. He's like, that looks utterly trashy. I'm like, no, it's actually a classic. It's just a bad cover. And so after that, I was super embarrassed of that cover. Yeah, fun story. I'd kind of forgotten about that for a minute. Stupid. Now I'd be like, yeah, what about it? Come at me. I do not go hiding my books when people come over now. But you know, 20-year-old Elizabeth, 21-year-old Elizabeth was not as mature as 31-year-old Elizabeth. Question number 7, a book that you feel embarrassed to have not read. So I don't have one now because I have read the one that I felt embarrassed that I had not read. And that one was The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, which I literally just read 2 years ago. This is a short story, okay? It is a 19th century short story written by a woman. Yes, it's American, but it's dealing with like mental health and men imprisoning women in rooms. Like, it's totally something that I would like. And every time I was like, oh yeah, I haven't read The Yellow Wallpaper, people were like, what? Like, yes, leave me alone. I haven't read it. My friend Michaela was horrified. Even my students, okay, I'm teaching my Brit Lit survey. And, you know, it was probably when we were talking about Victorian stuff, probably when we were looking at Jane Eyre. And one of my students was like, oh yeah, I mean, the yellow wall, it kind of, the idea of like locking her up in the room kind of reminded me of The Yellow Wallpaper. You've read that, right? I'm like, no. He's like, what? No, I haven't read it. Like an easily accessible short story, like literally own 2 anthologies with it in there, and I hadn't read it. And this student is just like, what? I'm like, it's American, leave me alone. I've read it now and we're all good. I loved it. We're all good now. But I don't think there is another one that I am embarrassed to have not read. I can't think of any anyway. Question number 8, an author or genre you're embarrassed to like or have been embarrassed to like. So I'm not embarrassed to like anything now, honestly. Like, my favorite series, hold on. My favorite series is a young adult sports mafia romance, okay? Like, I'm not embarrassed to like anything anymore. However, in the past, I definitely have been. So obviously, as I said in answer to the first question, I was embarrassed to like Twilight. This is the 3rd book, Eclipse. I just wanted a different book to hold up. So yeah, I was embarrassed to like paranormal romance, particularly Twilight, but also like basically anything else in that genre. And I was also embarrassed to like a lot of other young adult fiction, particularly in college when I had a crush on this guy who like thought young adult literature was trash. And I really liked John Green at the time. So yeah, so again, when this guy came over, literally hid my John Green books in the closet, along with some others. And you know what? I had a movie poster for The Fault in Our Stars up on my wall, because it had come out recently. And I literally took the poster down and hid it in my closet. When we were texting him, telling him to come over, and when he agreed to come over, I was like, oh shit, I need to hide all this. And so my friend my other friend, is literally helping me take this poster down. It was ridiculous. So yeah, I have been embarrassed to like things before. Pippin! So yeah, I have been embarrassed to like books before. I'm not anymore. Sports Mafia romance. Totally willing to own it. Question number 9, show or tell us about a embarrassing bookish object. I don't have one. Like, no, all of my bookish objects, I'm pretty secure in them. I don't find them embarrassing. Like, no. I can just show you a cool one that I like. I've shown this before. It's my Wuthering Heights embroidery that my friend made for me. Don't worry, sweetie, you'll find your Heathcliff. Real things that my grandmother said to me. But yeah, no, not embarrassing, obviously. I have it placed very prominently in my house. I'm like super proud of it. Yeah, no, I don't have any embarrassing bookish objects. Question number 10, what words, sounds, or phrases do you feel embarrassed about overusing on BookTube or in life? So something that I notice when I'm editing my videos, or sometimes I'll rewatch videos to see what I said, like, you know, if it's March of the Mammoths and I'm like, oh, I made this video about the longest books I've read, and I'll go back and watch it or something, stuff like that. I notice that I say, it's fine, so much. I'm like, God, girl. But you know what? It's fine. Like, I guess that's just how I talk, whatever. And I mean, I know that I use like too much, interesting, it was really good, or it was really great, or just, I'm really excited for it, because I like, you say it like about every book, and then it's like, it just loses all meaning. So yeah, it's a little embarrassing, but whatever. Like I said, it's fine. It's fine. Question number 11 is to tag people. I don't know who has done this, so I'm not gonna tag anyone, especially since I'm kind of late to the party, since I did not get the notification right away. But again, thank you to Kelly for tagging me in this, and thank you to Andy for making the tag. It was really fun. I would love to know your answers to some of these questions down in the comments below. What books have you been embarrassed about liking? What are some particularly embarrassing covers that you have on your shelves? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my bookish content. It has been great chatting with you. I will see you soon. Bye.